What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. This is living in Grand Junction, Colorado. Today we're at Canyon View Park here in the north area of Grand Junction. It's the largest park in Grand Junction. And today I wanted to talk to you guys about how to plan your escape here to gorgeous Grand Junction. We're gonna do it right now. What is going on, everybody? I'm Robert Hayes, and along with my wife Christie and the rest of the team, we are the Hayes Home Group right here in gorgeous Grand Junction, Colorado. Hey, if you guys have any questions at all, or you're actually thinking about heading out this way, well, man, you picked the right video. There's only one way we can help. That information popping up below. Reach out any way that you know how. Give us a phone call, shoot us a text, send us an email. Even send the carrier pigeon. We will always have your back with any of those questions, and we will absolutely have your back when you're ready to make that move here to gorgeous Grand Junction. A little hazy today. Apparently there's some wildfires like 75, 80 miles out. It's kind of drawing that smoke into the valley here. It happens every once in a while, but it should be out of here in another day or two. But guys, I did my escape almost 20 years ago, so I know there's, a lot of anxiety about how to do that. What are the steps? How do we even, what's the first process to get involved in planning that escape? And I understand why you might shoot, maybe you're in the Pacific Northwest and you want more than 10 days of sun, and you want 300 instead here in Grand Junction. Maybe you're in the West Coast, California. We can spend an hour and a half talking about why you'd want to leave there. I did, like I said, almost 20 years ago. Maybe it's, the South, Florida, Texas. You want, more good hair days. You want to get out of that hot, humid climate weather and get into this arid climate here in Grand Junction. But obviously we're getting calls from folks all over the country. And what's the first step? How do you go about it? Well, the first thing you need to do is, of course, reach out to a real estate team. Wink, wink. At least a team that's going to be in that top percentile that does, part of the teams that do 90% of the business here in Grand Junction. We certainly fall into that category, so we'd love to help out. Obviously, you don't want someone that's, Aunt Betty who does 2 transactions a year. And, God love them. If you want to make extra income, do a couple of deals a year, you can do that in real estate. But I think for you guys, all of the things involved, you want someone that does hundreds of transactions, and we certainly fit the bill. Look at the Google reviews on our real estate team. You can certainly look up ours, read through some of those and their experiences that we've helped move out this way. Now, when you do reach out, we'll establish a few things on that initial phone call. Number one, have you ever been here before? We've had a ton of clients that said, no, we've driven I-70 and it took us like 15 minutes to get from one side of the valley to the other. And we stopped at a gas station and we kept going, but it looked real nice. So that'll give us at least a starting point. And then let's talk about what you're comfortable with as far as budget. We've had conversations that people have talked to us on an initial phone call and said, yeah, we're looking for something right against the base of the Colorado National Monument. We want gorgeous views. We need 2,500 square feet. And we're looking for maybe a pool as well, and our budget's $250. Well, that's not realistic. I mean, obviously we have about $250,000 less in home prices than Denver, so you'll be in good shape. Our median home price is right at about $390,000, $400,000. Gorgeous view here in Canyon View Park. But that initial phone call, we'll get some facts, we'll get some ideas of what you guys are looking for, and that'll take us into plan a visit, guys, if you haven't been here before, and really get a feel for the different areas of Grand Junction. there's probably 11, 12 areas that you can hone in on, and we've found, and our clients have found, that that really gets that target circle that much smaller when you plan that visit out here. And then of course, number 3, when you plan that visit, we're gonna meet up with you. Maybe even buy you a bagel or a cup of coffee and sit down. We usually go down on Main Street, meet you down there at a little cafe, give you a goodie bag filled with all kinds of magazines, Grand Junction swag, to give you some helpful tools on how to go about strategizing your visit. And then of course we'll tell you, based on that price point that you're looking for, where to target, what areas to target. Really it comes down to eliminating areas actually is just as good as honing in on an area, because it'll get you to that smaller number either way. So after that initial meeting, we're gonna let you loose. Go have some fun. But again, you'll have a better understanding after our little conversation when you come out and we meet up of where to start targeting. And really, our clients have found that is the easiest way to go about finding your dream home, which is finding the area first. Once you do that, finding the house is pretty simple. You're gonna know what area you're vibing with, whether it's maybe a little more space out in the northwest, maybe you do wanna be right up against the monument, so you're gonna be basically looking at 1 or 2 areas there out of 12, so that makes it easy. Maybe you wanna be in the southeast, you wanna be close to the river. So once you find the area, again, the house becomes pretty dang simple. And then of course, while you're doing that, and there's plenty of videos on this channel that talk about what to do in those couple of days, not just looking at homes, but get up on the Colorado National Monument. Go to the Grand Mesa, it's only 45 minutes away. Heck, even float the river this time of year. So we'll tell you some hot spots, some things to do while you're here to really immerse yourself in that Grand Junction vibe. Now, once we let you loose to go explore, we're gonna go back to the office and take all that information that you gave us as far as area, price point, bedroom, bath count, square footage minimums, all that stuff. And we're gonna set you up on something that we call the Collaboration Center, which is gonna then target even smaller and just send you active listings as they come on the market that fit right in that wheelhouse. So you're only gonna be looking at homes that are gonna be, again, within that range of filters that you provided to us. So that really helps, again, get that target circle even a little bit smaller, so we can start looking at properties that are really gonna only be the ones that make sense for you. The next thing that you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna have to talk to a lender, obviously, if you need financing. We've got some great resources for you and referrals for that. And that way, the lender can give you some options as far as loan programs, payment options, down payment options, and you can look at all of those numbers and see which particular loan program is going to make the most sense for you guys. And that's really important. You don't want to ever put an offer on a home and then try to get financing. That never works out well. Get the financing locked down first, so that now we have an actual approval letter that we can give to the selling agent, and they know we're serious. They know at that point we're not just looky-loos, and it's not a serious offer. So get that lending financing nailed down first. Now, if you're all cash, well, that's even better. We don't have to worry about that at all. Now, what if you have a house to sell? That happens a lot. Probably, I don't know, 60–70% of the time. Hey, Robert, we got a home in Kentucky we got to sell as well, and that we're going to use those funds for a substantial down payment on the home there in Grand Junction. How does that all work? Well, what you're going to want to do is find a realtor there locally, obviously, and we've got a referral network of agents all over the country that have been vetted. They're pros, they're full-time, they'll treat you right. So if you need a good referral for where you live, we can do that too. But yeah, I mean, what you want to try and do is coordinate, if possible, the closing of your home where you're coming from to the closing of the home here in Grand Junction. Rarely do we close on the exact same day. It can be done, but there's a lot of moving parts that have to fall into place for that to happen. It's not impossible. We've done it a bunch of times, but once you have a closing date on the home that you're coming from, you'll obviously want to coordinate that pretty darn close to the house that you're under contract here. And that's another thing too, contingencies. It's pretty darn tough in our market here in Grand Junction to have a seller accept your offer unless your home that you're coming from is actually under contract. It doesn't have to be sold and closed and you're out of there to get an offer accepted here. But if your house there isn't even on the market yet, we really can't put an offer in here, guys. There's too much competition, too many other offers from people on that house here in Grand Junction that you're also eyeballing. They don't have a house to sell, they're all cash, or their home is already under contract. So you want to be in that same offer position where your home there where you're coming from is at least under contract. And that gives us something to work with as far as our offer here. Now, once you're under contract there, we could start looking, guys, if you've got a pre-approval from one of our lender resources, or, you know, again, it doesn't have to be one of our referrals, but we certainly recommend a local lender, and you've got a pre-approval letter, your home's on the market where you're coming from, we can put in an offer here. So schedule that trip, or we can do a video tour. I can't tell you how many contracts we've written on just a FaceTime video tour. Now, you think that might be kind of nuts, but we're pretty thorough with it. Brad and Dana just did it from North Carolina. They never even saw the house until we closed on it. So we can do video tours for you guys as well. But again, the main point is you got to at least be under contract where you're coming from. If you don't have a house to sell, even easier, you can skip all those steps and we can just go ahead and write an offer on the house here, no problem. Okay, so your home's on the market where you're coming from. We've got an offer on a property here that was accepted. We're under contract. But there's like a week in between your closing there and when we close here. What do we do now, Robert? Well, there's a few things you can do. I would say the vast majority of our clients, they'll just get an Airbnb for that week period of time. And we certainly can, vouch for the Airbnb availability here. There's a ton, guys. So I would say Airbnb, if you got an RV, there's a ton of RV parks here. You can just kind of hunker down there for a week. What about movers? We've got mover referrals too. So if you need stuff stored before your home closes here, we've got a moving and storage referral. They'll store all your stuff, then bring it to the house. Or if you just want to do that move directly from where you're coming from and have them drop it off at the house, then they can do that too. Even with the haze, what a gorgeous morning. There's a dog park right over there too in Canyon View Park. You've got a pretty cool little kiddo area right over here with those soft foam pads. They got a little, what do you call it, a zip line over there for the kids. But a lot of people out walking their dogs before it gets to be, it's probably gonna be 98 today. I saw a guy roll by with a parrot, walking his parrot this morning. That was kind of fun. Now, as far as contingencies, let's talk about that. So when you go under contract here in Grand Junction, you've got obviously a period of time to do the home inspection and make sure that if there's anything major that pops up on that inspection, that we can get back to the seller here and say, hey, we need you to fix these things, or give us a dollar amount concession for these items, that sort of thing. So your earnest money deposit, which is generally about 1% of the purchase price. So if it's a $400,000 home, your earnest money deposit will be about $4,000. That goes towards your total closing cost. That comes off of that number. And you can go back to the seller and say, yeah, we had an inspection. It's called an inspection objection. And then we send that to the seller and they say, yeah, we'll fix all those things. Beyond that, you cannot get your earnest money back, really. There's a few other maybe ways you can do that, but that's the big one, the inspection objection period. You're gonna have the same thing in the state that you're coming from. Sometimes it's called something a little bit different. So if you're under contract on your home in Tennessee, the buyer for your home is going to have that period of time as well to get back to you and say, hey, we want you to, you know, repair the air conditioner or whatever it might be. So there you go, guys. That's how you plan your escape to get out here to Grand Junction. We found over the years, following those steps give you the absolute best possibility of finding success and less stress and all that stuff. You don't need any of that. You already have enough of that making the move, right? But as much as we love making these dang videos, we'd love nothing more than to absolutely crush your real estate goals when you're moving out this way. So the information popping back up below, reach out any way that you know how. Give us a phone call, shoot us a text, send us an email. Yep, even send the carrier pigeon. We will always have your back with any of those questions. And we'll definitely have your back when you're ready to make that escape here to Grand Junction. Until the next video, we'll catch you later.